Let me ask you about this whole global phenomenon of entrepreneurialism and what's going on, and what your publication, fits into that trend.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. I mean, you couldn't call it a niche because it's almost everybody, right? I mean, everybody now talks about being an entrepreneur because you can apply the mindset of an entrepreneur to almost anything that you do. And so you don't have to start a company to be an entrepreneur, right? I mean, you can be thinking entrepreneurially within your company. You can have a side hustle. You could just be kind of exploding your footprint on social. Everything is entrepreneurism right now, which creates an amazing opportunity for us to talk to people in this really engaging way, in which what we're ultimately doing is trying to push them towards finding their passion and embracing it and figuring out how to make it work for them.
So tell us about the magazine scope and kind of the editorial mission as well.
So the magazine, which is what I primarily oversee, the magazine used to be a small business magazine. And when I came in, I looked at it and I said, we're talking to a too narrow group here, because entrepreneurism is, like I just said, so many different kinds of people. And the people who are reading this magazine are everybody from people who are running venture-backed companies to, kids selling stuff on eBay. And so how do you speak to all those people? And the way that we decided to shift the magazine was away from the nuts and bolts kind of small business stuff, which is what the magazine used to be, a lot of tax tips, and here's how to, do social media and that kind of stuff, and really more towards the emotional experience of entrepreneurism, so that we're talking about how people solve problems and how people dig deep and find motivation. And it's not, this isn't just kind of fluff. I mean, we're talking about real people solving real problems. The best thing that I can put into the magazine is an entrepreneur talking very candidly about how they faced a challenge and overcame it.
This is another whole other area, but the whole digital aspect of the magazine, which is huge. Who does it serve, and how is it different from the print publication?
Print product? Yeah, so they are different. Because even though we've shifted this brand towards a lot more focusing on the broader idea of entrepreneurship and the real kind of emotional and people component of it, people read things in different ways, right? And I think that people pick up the magazine for that kind of jolt of inspiration, but also those stories, right? I mean, I think that when people pick up the magazine, they want to really get inside people's brains. They want to sit down and think about it. But digitally, people are gravitating towards a lot of how-to. A lot of advice, a lot of breaking down ideas, and so that people can really feel like they can wrap their head around the very big challenge that they're facing. So in the magazine, it's really all journalism. It's all storytelling, it's all journalism. Digitally, it's a mix of things. We have a large contributor network where entrepreneurs themselves are writing in and talking about their own experiences and giving their own pieces of advice. We're also doing reporting, we're doing videos. It's a wider scope.
And what are your hopes for folks who are here at the NewFronts, what their takeaway will be?
I mean, we have a lot, because this is our first time here, and so we think about this in many ways as an introduction, not just of our content, but also as our brand to people who may not have engaged with us as much in the past. And so I think that, number one, I hope that their big takeaway is that we are not a small business brand, that we are talking to a very, very wide range of extremely engaged people, and that we're really at the front of culture right now because we are in an entrepreneurial culture. I mean, you have to think about it in terms of, the world is not a company town economy anymore. People don't just go and work at a large corporation and stay there their entire lives. They now build their own industries, they build their own jobs, they build their own worlds. And we are guiding people towards that. So I think that that's the really big takeaway. And then inside that, I think that I want them to see the wide range of places that we plug into. I mean, look at what we just showed you there. Mr. Kate is so different from Mario Armstrong, is so different from Elevator Pitch, right? I mean, but they all fall under this really wide umbrella of entrepreneurism.